Will Lucas, AfroTech, here with my guy Jason White of Cura Cannabis Solutions. How you doing?
Doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you are a high-level executive at Beats and Apple, and you left all that to come into the cannabis industry and, be a part of a beginning team in this industry to revolutionize what we have in this country happening with cannabis. And talk to me a little bit about the timing and opportunity that you saw that said, you know what, this great job I have over here, there's something bigger over there.
Well, I think first and foremost to honor the folks that built something long before I got there. I mean, Select was #1 brand in California, Oregon, Nevada, Arizona before I got there, and they were already doing big things. But what I saw and what they sort of recognized was it was a business that was about great product, that was a great sales team. They had done a lot within the cannabis community, but they wanted to really become a great global brand. And that's, fortunately in my career, I've had a lot of time to do that. It was a tough moment, to make that decision. I had a lot of people tell me that I was making a mistake. A lot of people who I admire telling me that I was making a mistake. It was too early. I remember a certain person telling me it's all about how long you can stay at the table, and you're too early, that you're not going to be able to stay at the table long enough. And when I got there, it's been incredible since day one. We're building a brand, we're scaling. We were acquired for $1 billion, and now we're getting ready to roll out come next year.
You're a marketer, so talk to me about the areas in cannabis that people aren't considering. So you have the grower cultivator, you have the distribution, but there's a whole stack of an industry being built here. Talk to me about the opportunities you see that we should be paying attention to.
Well, if you think about, you have plant touching and non-plant touching, and in the non-plant touching world is an entire supply chain. Like, how are you doing your marketing and your advertising? Who does your digital? All those pieces, just like any other brand. But then, in addition to those pieces, you have there's a ton of tech going into how we track the plant because it's federally illegal. You have to track it from what we call seed to sale. So there's a ton of innovation happening there. There's a lot of innovation in how we actually are testing materials. Now, we have to be really smart about providing authentic products. So with the gray market and the black market, you got to make sure there's ways to test. So we're looking at all different types of technology that authenticates a product and that makes sure consumers are getting something safe and something that they expect that they're getting.
And talk to me a little bit about legislation and policy and the things that go into that voting and et cetera, to make sure what our responsibility is to make sure that the progress we're making in this industry continues to make progress, and why it's important for us to be involved and engaged.
Well, I think the trend you're seeing is a good one, in that if you look back the last 4 years, you're seeing more and more legislation go through that has equity provisions in it. And that wasn't the case in 2015, 2016. So now more and more states, you're seeing that the legislature won't even bring the bill to the floor unless they've figured out, how are the equity issues being worked out. And I think as just constituents, we have to make sure that, our representation knows that that's important to us, and that, we don't want to see a state go adult use or go even medicinal without thinking about those pieces, without taking those steps, and without communicating that very clearly to us as citizens. I think that obviously as we go to 2020, that's going to be a big part of the ballot in a lot of states. So I think we're going to see probably New York, New Mexico, potentially Florida. A lot of big markets are going to transition. So I think it's a big year to make sure you understand what is in the bill and understand what is stuck in there and all those different decisions and provisions, because the devil's in the details, and the opportunity is in the details.
When I think about AfroTech, I think of not just about tech, how we think about it, but tech is HR, tech is marketing, tech is legal, tech is all those things. How important is this conference to Black people in your mind, and how important is it to be engaged with what's going on here? How important is AfroTech in general?
Round one of tech, our people missed out, right? And I think that is why AfroTech is so incredibly important. That's why I commend Morgan for what she's doing, because, as we head into what's really becoming kind of 2.0 of tech, it's very entrepreneurial driven. It's much more decentralized. You can build it on your phone. You can build it in your house. You don't have to go to Menlo Park. You don't have to go to all these places. The time is now. And for AfroTech to empower people and to give them the tools and to create the network for us to do it ourselves, and the network for people who want to be entrepreneurs, who want the ownership, for them to have that path through the AfroTech network is incredible. And that's why I think that, what happens here these 3 days once a year, it's invaluable.
Jason White, Cura Cannabis Solutions, Will Lucas, AfroTech.